Hi, Maura, Timmy, Peter, John, Gracie, Patrick, Aiden, Clara. We haven't had a story for a couple of weeks, so I thought it might be time for one. I miss all of you so much, and reading you a story is just a way to let you know how loved you are. This is one of our family favorites, and I hope you enjoy it. Budgie Goes to Sea. One day, Budgie, the little helicopter, was chatting with his friend Pippa, the Piper warrior plane. He told her he had been given the exciting new job of postman. Nothing exciting about that, said Pippa. We all carry mail from time to time. But you couldn't do this job, crowed Budgie, because you can't land on a naval ship at sea. Oh, I could do it easily, said Pippa. If you could deliver this mail, protested Budgie, I'd have a bath. Budgie, you see, hated baths. He much preferred being dirty. Well, said Pippa, if the ship is an aircraft carrier, you are going to be very clean indeed. Budgie worried about that until his radio came on.
Control to Budgie. We have an important shipment of spare parts for the fleet, and the wind is beginning to blow. If they don't get these parts, their rescue aircraft won't be able to fly. Please, prepare to leave at once. Please, prepare to leave at once.
As Budgie lifted off with his cargo net full, Pippa called to him, Good luck, and I'll see you at the wash when you get back. Fergus the cat just sniggered. Blatter, blatter, blatter. As Budgie flew over the coast, the wind began to blow harder. A line of black clouds hung on the horizon. Control to Budgie. The weather is getting worse. Deliver your cargo to the destroyer, Campbelltown. That's Campbelltown. And return home immediately. As Budgie approached the destroyer, the wind began to blow even harder. Looking down, Budgie saw that the ship's own helicopter covered half the landing area. Budgie turned into the wind and began to lower his packages onto the deck. Just as they touched down, a huge gust of wind blew the cargo against the side of the landing platform. Budgie pulled up with all his might and barely missed crashing into the ship.
Destroyer to Budgie. That was too close. Land on the aircraft carrier instead. The aircraft carrier instead.
Roger, said Budgie, trying to use his strongest voice.
Destroyer to Budgie.
He did not want to have a bath, but he did feel a bit shaky from the near miss. Budgie looked down on the big carrier. The deck was covered with jets. Budgie felt small, but he was proud to be doing his job for the Navy. The crew unfastened his cargo net, and Budgie lifted off for the flight home. As he pulled up, the sky darkened and it began to rain. Suddenly, Budgie's radio came on.
Man overboard! Man overboard! Man overboard!
Looking down as he flew back over the destroyer, Budgie could see the men lowering a lifeboat. He watched as the wind slammed the little boat against the ship.
We have an important shipment of spare parts for the fleet, and the wind.
Destroyer to Budgie! Destroyer to Budgie!
Destroyer to Budgie! Destroyer to Budgie! We cannot launch our lifeboat. We have a man overboard, and our helicopter is broken. Can you help? Repeat, can you help?
Budgie gulped. I'm not big enough for this, he thought. And the wind is too strong and the waves are huge. But Budgie knew he had to try. He called the destroyer, pretending not to be afraid. I'll do what I can. Budgie began to search the sea behind the destroyer. The waves and the rain made it hard to see anything. Finally, he saw a beam of light. It must be a rescue flashlight, Budgie thought as he moved closer. In the sea, the sailor was struggling to stay afloat. Keep swimming! I'm going to let down a rope ladder, shouted Budgie as the waves roared below. Don't give up! For a minute, Budgie thought he was too late. The sailor had sunk below the surface. Budgie could only see his arm above water. With the wind howling, Budgie dropped as low as he could. He could feel the spray from the waves on his skids. With one final pass, he dragged his ladder in front of the sailor. Grab hold! Budgie yelled and pushed his engines to full power. The sailor held on as hard as he could, and Budgie circled back towards the ships. Budgie lowered the man carefully to the ship's deck as all his mates cheered. Once his ladder was released, Budgie immediately lifted off and flew towards home. The wind was still very strong, and Budgie just hoped he could make it back to the field. When Budgie finally arrived there, Pippa, Lionel, the Lynx helicopter, and Chin Up the Chinook were waiting. They had heard everything on the radio. We are all so proud of you, cried Pippa. Hooray, Lionel said. That wasn't a bad job, Budgie. Great stuff, said Chin Up as he chewed his gum. After everyone had finished praising Budgie, he had a chat with Pippa. Pippa, you won our bet. You could have landed on that aircraft carrier. I suppose I'd better have that washed now. Oh, I could never have saved that man, Budgie, Pippa said. So I'm calling our bet off. Now this was a special day indeed, thought Budgie. All this adventure and no bath before bed.
Budgie's a little helicopter. He is brave, a little hero. Budgie and friends are always working hard together. Pippa, Chuck and Lionel in a new adventure.
Budgie!
Rocket, rotate. Oh, Budgie will always help if there's a problem. And if someone's in trouble, he's there on the double. He'll just grin and zoom up to the rescue. To the rescue.
I love you, everybody.
Budgie and friends are always working hard together. Pippa, Chuck and Lionel in a new adventure. Oh, Budgie is a little helicopter. He is nippy, look at him go, it's Budgie, the little helicopter.